Shelby rejects this view on the grounds that genuine cooperation among black folk is a rare occurrence in African-American politics, and given that conceptions of African-American politics that do not presuppose such cooperation should be sufficient. He also takes issue with the claim that mutual trust can only be formed through participation in group narratives. But these criticisms do not address what is truly at stake in the importance of storytelling to identity formation. We need not agree with the particulars of Thomas's position to agree with the claim that narrative is critical to character formation, that the kinds of stories we tell ourselves help orient us, habituate us even, to the world and to our fellows. Character formation should be a crucial component of political struggle. This is not, oftentimes progressives want to give up this kind of talk, right? And I think they're wrong to give it up, right, for a variety of reasons, right? But what I'm trying to suggest here is that, again, the kinds of stories we tell ourselves, right, ought to be a critical and crucial component of political struggle because it has everything to do with the kinds of persons that we are becoming. What does it mean to tell the story of the strange fruit dangling from poplar trees? If you don't know the reference, Billie Holiday and lynching. How is it that we tell ourselves a story of the violence, right, of American racism, of American racial apartheid, and how might that story constitute us in relation to our fellows in our pursuit of justice? What does it mean that we consistently want to repress it in terms of the kinds of persons that we hope to become? That is, when we don't want to look at the darkness that's deep inside our own souls to understand how deeply flawed and fragile and sinful, how capable we are of evil. And if we don't confront it, what does it do? It opens us up to hubris. It sanctions the illusion that we can be godlike. The stories that we tell ourselves have everything to do with the kinds of persons we hope to become. It's not simply enough to fight for justice. One must reflect that commitment in one's character. Otherwise, we end up with individuals like Robert Mugabe, right? Who fought in the name of justice but failed to exhibit it in his life. Right? That's when you get thugs who pimp in the name of freedom. Oh, I shouldn't have used that word. What I want to suggest then is that we think about black identity in a truly pragmatic way, which insists on its importance for character formation and avoids the narrow racial essentialism that Shelby rightly seeks to avoid. I'll bring it to a close. I'll step away from this for a moment so you can see I'm making it up as I go. In the age of Obama, our rush to this notion that we have entered a post-racial utopia, it proceeds on the assumption that Obama must be rendered blank. In 1951, in an essay entitled "Many Thousands Gone," James Baldwin, in effect, said that the price of our entry into the public domain is not to make the black face white, but to make it blank. And to the extent to which the Negro's face has been washed away, our guilt will vanish. Part of what we need to understand black identity to be about, right, is a certain way of orienting oneself to the world, registering a particular kind of understanding of the formation of the moral self in relation to a particular set of stories to which I owe fidelity, to which I ought to show some kind of pious orientation to, stories that make in some significant way me possible, and those stories have something to tell America. But part of the challenge involves thinking about black identity in a way that's supple enough that we don't get fixed, that we don't become singularly obsessed, and we wind up like Antigone and Creon. One wanting to bury the brother no matter what cost, and one wanting to defend the state at no matter the cost. Both shuts down the ability to discriminate. Both kills the ability to make delicate distinctions. Both leads to a deformation of character.